Hello, YouTubers and all those happen to watch. Hope you're all doing quite well. So, as promised, I'm going to try to, of course, put more content on this channel. So, if I lack or anything thereof, just stay tuned and hopefully I can pop out more for this said channel itself. So, alright, I had the distinct honor, and I'm saying honor because you'll hear why in a moment, of playing a game that, quite frankly, brought me back to a time where games didn't need all this complicated production to be extremely fun. And no, I'm not talking about Uncharted 4 because Uncharted 4, quite frankly, is quite the opposite of what I said and actually does it quite well. At least what I've watched gameplay of. Production with story and stuff like that, but that's for another day because I never played it yet. But it looked really good. Anyway, so I bought two games here. One of these is just a sort of a throwaway kind of mention and all the other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and ramble about this for a second. That, of course, is Guild Wars 2. Now, I bought a physical copy of the game. I always had it digital. So I bought a physical copy of the game. I'm trying to make sure it's in the screen there. There it is. And I got the Heroic Edition for about $15 at Walmart. So I picked it up, and it's just a slipcase mostly saying it's Heroic. Otherwise, it's just a standard edition. You know, this is how they kind of distinct editions nowadays by the slip cover, or the slip cover that you own intact. Now, it comes with 2 discs to help you install the game, which is nice just in case I might need to do that. Even if I'm offline, it would make no damn difference if I were to try to play it, because it's an online-only game, which is a buy once, play it forever kind of scenario. But it's going pretty good for itself. Anyway, so I bought this game because it was the price, it was affordable enough to me, and I bought it because, again, I wanted the physical copy of the game. I have most physical copies of all the Guild Wars games except Prophecies. So I don't have the core edition of Guild Wars 1, which, again, I got Guild Wars 1 on a due to a friend. He's like, here, why don't you play this? So I play it, and I was like, holy shit, this is a good MMO. So that's, of course, what sparked me into buying this at some point in the future. And this is, of course, when it's launch day. Anyway, so basically bought it, and I had some issues with this, and this is a short story with that. Now, I bought this game, and then I were to buy it through the United States. So I contact support. Support says, here's another key, because maybe the key was bad. Nope, still didn't work. I redeemed the serial key, what was included with this, and it was a brand new key. Now, it wasn't the fact that the key was bad. It was because of the fact that the key itself was state-based. Now, apparently my account is Euro-based somehow, and I don't know how the hell that was magically possible. Even though my account clearly says North America on it. You know, it's how it was signed up, but yet the dev guy says, hey, your account is based off the Euro side. So here is a Euro key. So I go and punch it in, and it works flawlessly. It works 110%. And so I asked him, hey, is this a heroic key? And the person's like, yeah, it's a heroic key. Enjoy. So I log in, get my free stuff, which I was mostly buying it for too, just for the key. And so I get like a suit of legacy armor, mythical box, which is an 18 slot inventory expansion, 10 experience points boosters, and a partridge in the pear tree. So I ended up picking up that just because of the extra stuff involved, and plus I wanted the physical edition of the game, and it just looks quite good. So that's the reason why I picked it up. So now I have a physical edition of Guild Wars. My brain is at ease. Could I have spent that $15 towards a sandwich or something? Sure, but at the same time, it's about what makes you happy in life, which is important. Which, after dealing with some customer service, which was actually ended up being pretty positive at the end of it, and finding out when you logged in, because I had the expansion Thorns, that I was actually able to boost one of my characters to level 80 automatically, life was good. So, there's that. Which I still think is pretty fucking hilarious, actually. So, I ended up picking up this game right here, and this is going to be the most centerpiece of the video. So it's going to be quite long. Right now the video is kind of leaning towards 4 minutes, but it's going to be quite long. So, I hope you're ready. So that, of course, I ended up picking up for the PS4, Doom. Now, Doom itself, this is, of course, the inverted copy there. I'm trying to make sure I'm putting it in there correctly. Now, the inverted copy, or the said case right here, is a reverse to this cover right here, which is the most shittiest cover I've ever seen in my life. Have people seen worse? Probably, but for me, this is pretty fucking bad. It's still atrocious. It's still warranted me flipping the case over because the inverted case looked a whole hell of a lot better. This, of course, was the front case. Yeah, now you can see why I flipped it over. At least there's probably gonna be one person goes, "That looks okay to me." You know, that one person has to be the different one. But there always is one person in that group. They peek their head eventually. It looks okay to me, Kappa face. So, yeah, there's that. And picking it up on launch day and then playing it, at least not big launch day, I lie, because that's a fib. It was the next day, so it was like the 14th. I ended up picking that up and putting it into my PS4, and then the rest has been history. So I've been taking my time with the game, and this is why I did not, quite frankly, put out anything about the game earlier. Now, I plan to put some gameplay up at some point in the future, and I'm going to be very delicate about it. I have some on the said Twitch account, so I can just be able to just transfer it over to YouTube and, of course, pick and choose. Yeah, it's basically the fact that I picked up this game, and now I knew quite well what I was expecting from the game. The story is going to be complete ass, which, of course, Doom never was really known for its astounding story, unless, of course, you read the novels. The novels themselves are actually pretty good. I have Hell on Earth sitting over there, which is Doom 2 Hell on Earth, the novel, which is, again, a very good novel. Go read if you wish to read a book. So, basically, I was playing through this, and the entire time I always had a smile on my face. It was never a negative vibe. Now, why is that, you ask? Well, it isn't necessarily a nostalgia goggle per se, but it still has that classic feeling where I feel like I'm in a familiar zone. Now, this is a modern game, so there's obviously checks and balances with that. So, now, if you want to think of Doom, think of it in a couple ways. Now, Doom itself had barely any storyline. It was a storyline which was involved in the beginning of a chapter, the episode, and the end of an episode. So you basically got enough to read to understand what was going on in that area, or of course understand what the hell, why you're in this part of this realm, or this part of hell, or part of Mars, or whatever else, or what's going on Earth, that kind of thing. You know, a whole shebang. So Doom itself does the same idea. Gives you a footnote what you're kind of doing, but then sends you off on your own to explore each world or each level. Now, there's a total of over 13 levels in this game. I'm not kind of ruining it for you because, you know, the original Doom games had 13 levels, so it's, again, you're getting what you're getting there. There's actually one level alone that's actually a repeat of another level, but it's slightly old. It's altered where it's different than the first version of it. Let's just get a disclaimer out for that. And it felt different anyway, at least even though it was the same exact area, but it was different placement of enemies. It was just, you know, everything was altered where it was a lot more trickier to navigate. I mean, some people say that, oh, you were basically a repeated level, but yet people play the inverted castle in Castlevania. Go fucking figure. Which, speaking of Castlevania, this game plays exactly like Castlevania, exception to being stage-like. So each level consists of a pretty large area that you can go and explore and progress through and find collectibles and all that stuff. So you could upgrade your character in a Predator suit or a Predator suit. And now this Predator suit is basically the suit that the Doom guy or the Doom Marine guy rocks. So you're pretty much having this character upgrade his gear and upgrade his weapons. Now, again, this is not where it's overly complicated. It has two options for each gun, which are mods. And then the Predator suit, you can eventually upgrade to full potential, which is like all these different things you can just upgrade on the weapon. You can have more, or the guy's general stats, which are health, armor, and ammo. Now, all that, of course, consists into simple finding things throughout the level and using that to upgrade. There's also challenges you can do, which are little challenge levels, as well as just general challenges in each stage, which you can do and unlock. There's a total of 3 per stage, which are not too challenging. If you actually read what the hell the challenges are, you could probably get those done throughout a single playthrough of the said level. Now, the difficulty in this game is varied because some people have different play styles, so therefore that's a subjective matter in itself. But in general, if you're a well-seasoned veteran of FPS shooters, I'd advise cranking you up to the max you can go, because it'll give you a good enough challenge where it'll kick your ass, but not enough where you're going to be like just regretting it. The enemies all effectively act smart and stupid at the same time, where they have that between level where they're pretty damn stupid. They just simply charge at you or try to come at you, and it's your goal to kill them. And of course, I don't expect the enemies to have the most complicated AI in the world. It's a freaking Doom game. Doom games are never designed to be most intellectual games in the world, other than having some clever level design here and there, which this game shares that same suit. There's some clever hidden puzzles, or not puzzles, but hidden little things here and out throughout the game. Now, for folks who like the original games and all that, there's actually a pretty cool Easter egg in this game. I'm just going to tell you it because, quite frankly, the developers told you about it, so it's a sort of fair game. Now, for each level, just about, of course, all levels, there's a secret lever or a hidden lever throughout the stage you have to look for, and then near that said lever you can actually unlock a original level of Doom. And they're like, oh my god, they're reshuffling the same old content, blah blah blah. No, you actually play the said original levels with the new version of Doom. So in better words, you're playing as this guy right here, Doom Guy, with all the weapons you have, or a set amount of weapons that you can use. You can go through each original level of Doom and actually play through them. And you're playing against the new enemies versus the older enemies, but you're playing in a new way that you are playing currently in the game itself. So, again, it isn't like you're playing the same old Doom game. Though it would have been awesome if you can actually play the original Doom 1 and Doom 2 included with this game. I wish they would have done that, but beggars cannot be choosers. But at least they included some extra levels to play through, and they're pretty freaking challenging. They're actually pretty challenging little levels. They're not incredibly easy. Some people are like, it's easy. No, it's not. It's like, it sort of challenges you. Because some of the weapons in the new Doom are kind of a culture clash versus the originals. But again, this is not me saying that this is a bad thing or anything like that. It's just challenging, which is a good thing. It keeps you busy. Now, I played through the game already. I've completed it, obviously, and I gotta say my final impressions of the game is that it's a fantastic title for folks who originally loved the first and second and Doom 1.5. Because the third Doom isn't technically Doom 3, even though they label it as 3, it's sort of a revision of 1. Sort of like how this game is kind of going into an origin story kind of thing with how Doom, or at least how the Doom Guy came about. They try to explain a little bit of how Doom Guy, or Doom Marine, that's actually his name, by the way. There's no fucking other explanation for it. I just call him Nath because it's kind of his name. They said it in novels somewhere or some manual. Basically, he was introduced in the game. You wake it up inside of a laboratory, and then you go off from there. And it's again a very bare bones story where it's enough where you can kind of understand it, but doesn't distract you from the actual game, which is the whole approach. They didn't want to make an overly complicated story, which Doom never had one. Again, as I said before, previous statement. Go read the books if you want to really know the story of Doom. So it left a very positive vibe from start to finish, where it made me want to go back and play additional or older levels just to get all the challenges done or get them done, which I'm still kind of doing that right now. Now, this game does not end with that. Overall, the playtime of this game, depending on your skill level, is 12 hours to 13 to 14 hours. I'm saying that digit because some people are just not that good at the game, so they just take a little bit longer, which is fine. You know, trial and error, you continuously play, you die a lot, or you whatever else, it'll take you about 12 hours to complete it. With a total of 13 stages, that evens out to being about 35 to 45 minutes per stage if you were to do some rough math off the top. So there's that. Then there's the multiplayer. Now, the multiplayer itself is alright. Now, the multiplayer itself, that will probably keep you busy after you beat the game if you're into that. Now, it's not super duper detailed or crazy fun. It's just there as a filler. So, when they built the multiplayer, they made it kind of like Quake, with the elements of the Doom game that you're currently playing. Now, there's certain power-ups, like you can become a demon for a short period of time, and the other team can kick your ass and simply kill you and then take that for themselves. So, there's that. It's like a kill streak of sorts. And you have your weapons you can additionally unlock off the bat, and then you have weapons you can unlock as you level, so you play for that, I suppose. And then there's also the armor you can switch and swap and paint whatever you wish. Same thing with the weapons. You can paint the weapons anything you wish, just about. So you got like different shaders and all that, which is again pretty nifty. It makes it so you can personalize yourself to how you wish. You could be some big bright orange looking Templar looking Space Marine if you wish. It's up to you. It's your choice. You can be like a cybernetic demon looking creature if you want. You can run around doing that. Again, it's a simple multiplayer experience. It isn't overly complicated. It's a simple, fun, arena-style game. The objective modes are probably the best feature of the multiplayer. There's some really fun ones in there. It's nothing too overbearingly difficult to understand. I mean, if you're playing it on the consoles, it takes a little while, once in a while, at least the PS4 copy, to boot up and get you into a game, but that's something they can fix on their end. But that's the only negative side about the multiplayer I found. The weapons need some more balancing too. That's the other thing. There was basically a couple weapons in that which are really good versus everything else, and it only makes sense to use those good weapons versus the meh weapons. Like the combat shotgun and rocket launcher, you win the game. That's it. That's it. You just win the game. No, there's pre-nat and the hell rifle, or whatever the hell it's called, but there's basically 3 weapons in total that's really worth a damn, and the rest of them are kind of eh. So you have to get either a jump on somebody to be very lucky to kill anyone at all, or just whatever else, because everyone's like bullet sponges and that shit. So hopefully they can balance out the weapons. That's the only other complaint for the multiplayer. There's, again, a few weapons that are really good. Other ones are just kind of So your choice is to pick something cheap and stick to it for a while until they fix everything, hopefully. There's also another feature in this game called Snap Map. Snap Map is a thing where you can create and customize your own levels. It's kind of like the Little Big Planet of level creation. And it's so simple that even a caveman can do it. That example can, of course, be carried out throughout the entire thing. But there's one little catch to the said Snap Map, which isn't that great. Now, for each level, it sort of is linear in what you can actually do with those said levels. There's a complicated system where there's like circuitry involved where you can build and customize your own scenarios inside these levels. You can make the levels to whatever you wish, like a survival one or whatever else, which, again, that's no big deal. I like how that is. But as far as the circuitry goes, that's just it. That's the only complicated thing about the inside job when it comes to the Snap Map. The Snap Map itself only comes with pre-constructed areas that you snap together, and you place all these items and all these creatures and all these weapons into these said pre-constructed areas, and that's it. Nothing overly complicated about it, but I wish there was a little bit more of complication involved with the said Snap Map, because, again, it could have been a whole lot better than what it is. Like, I wish they could have actually allowed you to put, walls and doors together, like, really put them together, not just have a whole complete thing go. I wish they could have allowed you to go in little bits and pieces of the room and be able to construct it yourself. That's the only thing I had a problem with that said creator. I mean, other than that, it's actually pretty fun to be able to connect to a server and play with other people for like co-op things or competitive things, just for fun. And you can actually unlock like gear and everything in the game, or at least the Snap Map, where it's like mostly cosmetic shoulder plates and all that stuff. And you can actually find some pre-constructed map that helps you farm the snap points anyway, so it's like not a big deal. Overall, it has a lot to it. A lot of collectibles, a lot of exploration, which I like that feature a lot. It's like Castlevania basically, or it's like Doomvania, as I nicknamed it recently. Doomvania on steroids. It's really fun. If you don't like an overly complicated story, you just like to pick up a game and just get into it and roll up your sleeves without having to worry about too many ideas and concepts getting thrown at you at once, and keeps it simple where you just kill a demon and feel satisfied, then it's absolutely worth it. If you just want to play it for the campaign, I'd say wait till it goes down to 40 or 30. I'm not going to say get it to 60 if you're not interested in the other two things I just mentioned, though the Snap Map is pretty good. So, I mean, if you're into only co-op style games, they do have co-op style maps you can play on the Snap Map, so it's like you can play with other friends or challenge other friends, and it's really fun. Take it from me, who's a guy who's probably put like at least 17 to 18 hours into this game total, just from a mixture between all the content, including Snap Map and multiplayer. So, yeah, really good, really fun. Play it. I highly recommend it. So there you go. I hope this video was good for you as it was for me. I need a cigarette now. No, I don't smoke cigarettes, but you get the point. Really fun game. Got myself a game that, quite frankly, I already owned already, but I just still wanted to own it because of the box, and it would look good on the collection, because, you know, it was missing there, and my heart was like, ugh. But anyway, I hope this video right here, how long did this video go for? 19 minutes, not bad, actually. Hope this video was insightful for you if you were trying to purchase the Doom game, and I hope I didn't talk your damn ear off too much. So,